Garden Care A to Z is brought to you by Effecto.
Welcome to Garden Care A to Z. My name is Bimray. Today we're going to be showing you how to build a really easy, simple, decorative water feature in your own garden. We don't have to call an electrician to wire up a pump. We're going to harness the sun's energy to fire up that little pond pump. There's nothing quite like having the sound of running water in the garden. Not only does it help attract birds into your garden, but it really does give you that sense of tranquility. A really easy way of creating your own water feature is simply buy a complete unit. In this case, I'm using a solar-powered pump as well as a very lightweight fiber feature. All we have to do is add water. The unit is complete with a pump, little hose where you connect the pump to, and of course it's really lightweight, so it's very simple to do. You really just need to make sure that your pipe is securely attached to the pond pump. The unit can be anywhere, but the important thing is the actual solar panel has to be in full sun. All we now have to do is add water to the base. It's a good idea to pre-energize your solar panel by leaving it in full sun for a full day before you connect. Connecting could not be easier. It involves connecting the end of the cord from the panel to the end of the cord from the pump. Even I can do this. Just make sure that it's securely attached. And within a few seconds, you should see water coming through the water feature. And that you could hide just about anywhere in the garden. And how simple is that? Another really cool way of creating your own more permanent feature in the garden is by simply buying a preformed garden pond like this one. It comes complete with shelves at different heights where you could put your plants in, and it's really simple to install. You'd mark out the shape of the pond, dig it to the right depth, make sure it's secure, and Bob's your uncle, you'd have a pond done within a couple of hours. Then of course, if you're feeling a lot more creative, you could then use a pond liner like this. Very durable, strong plastic. It also is supplied with a geofabric which you use underneath the pond liner, and that will help also to protect the pond liner from being punctured by stones in the soil or anything like that. So it really is very simple. Now let me practically show you how we install this in the pond I've built in the area behind me. So we've created this very free form, very rustic looking pond, and to complement that, the planting had to match. So we've tried to create a bit of a meadow-like effect by using strong color as well as grasses. Now the grasses we've used two varieties of Panacetum. This one is called Fireworks, which has this magnificent red coloring, and as it matures it will go darker. And then we've used a lighter green variety of the same grass. For the ground cover, for the very low growing plants, we've used Durantacea's Gold. For strong color, we've gone with the Salvia. This particular one is called Go-Go Scarlet. Isn't that a magnificent color? So to give us height, I've used a cordyline called Electric Star. We've planted it up in a pot, and we've planted in between a euphorbia called Diamond Frost. And look how beautifully that contrasts with the diamond stars with this cordyline's maroon color on the leaf. Now that creates a really striking area in the garden for us. But now let's have a look how we put the pump in. Of course, one has to be properly attired to play in water, which I now am. The pump is supplied with an extendable lance, so you can adjust the height depending on how deep your pond is. Now I'm going to need more help than simply that rod extension because my pond is slightly deeper, so I've also used a paving brick underneath just to get to the right height. Now once you get to the top, you also have a choice of nozzles which will give you different spray patterns once the pump is working. And in this one I've just chosen one at random, and now it really is very simple. We're just placing the pump, and as you can see, it's spot on level with the height of the water, and I'm using a pebble just to get the pump stabilized nicely. So all that remains is to connect the pump to the actual solar panel, and Bob's your uncle, we have power, and we're going to have a wonderful looking feature. planted a number of amazing new plants. And of course, we have to make sure that they get the best chance to be established. And we're going to do that by feeding them, make sure it gets watered in well to avoid any burning. I'm really happy the way this water features turned out in the garden. And I'm sure you'll agree that it's a lot easier to build than you initially thought it would be. The fact is that water really attracts life into the garden and gives us that sense of peace and tranquility we so need in our lives. Thank you for watching Garden Care A to Z. Please join us again on the next one.
Garden Care A to Z is brought to you by Effecto.